Hi guys, welcome back to Seduce Me. We're going to be doing Erik's route. I already skipped the first part because it's basically the same thing and, same choices and, okay, well, we're just going to start here and I'll skip through some stuff and then it'll go a lot faster probably this time around. Okay. Instantly, Matthew and Sam began to stuff themselves with food on the table. I noticed James's eye twitching in irritation, so I stifled my incoming laugh.
Really, you two? You're both acting like pigs!
Oh, let them have a little freedom, James. It's not like we've eaten recently either. I'm sure they've been starving.
Still, that's no excuse for stuffing their faces like backyard swine.
I almost couldn't hold it in, so I didn't. Red. I couldn't hold my laughter anymore. As I laughed, Matthew and Sam looked my way, faces stuffed.
Is something funny? What are you laughing at?
I stopped to catch my breath. I leaned over the table and took a few breaths before replying. You both are so funny. Both of their faces turned a slight pink before they looked away from me, and they both swallowed their food in their mouths.
Shut up! We're not funny. We're hungry.
Well, we're glad that we made you laugh.
Shut up, Matthew!
Aww, why are you so mean to Matthew? Okay, I have a soft spot for Matthew too, I'm sorry.
What? I'm just saying.
See, James, it's entertainment for her.
They were funny to me. At least they enjoyed the food. As I watched, I took a couple pieces of food for myself and placed them on my plate before eating as well. Eventually, we all ate dinner together. It was strange eating with just guys, but they were enjoyable to be around. They made me feel like a part of their family as we ate together. However, our peace was soon disturbed. You turn the tables on me now. You drop me in the cage somehow. I can never. And I'm gonna save here. Go back. Okay. Skipping through. Party. They're gonna help. You're gonna go sheep. And dreaming. Damon comes in. Skip through that too. I nodded before sitting down. As I sat down, however, my mind drifted back to the dream I had. The feeling of hostility around me made my body shudder instinctively, even though I knew it wasn't real. However, as my eyes closed, I felt the hand place itself on my head, breaking me out of my thoughts. Huh?
Morning. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sam, the owner of the hand on my head, raised an eyebrow at me before rustling my hair and moving away to sit down at the table. He then barked towards the kitchen where James was working.
Hey! Is the food done yet? I'm starving!
There's no need to yell, Sam!
You're yelling too!
Ow.
Don't argue with me!
From behind, Erik appeared and sat beside me, rubbing his temples in obvious annoyance. Looks like he didn't get much sleep.
Can we not yell this early in the morning? It's not like we're in the castle.
Castle? For some reason, when I heard the word castle, I couldn't help but yell in surprise. The guys had a castle? Sam looked at me and smirked at my reaction.
Yeah, we have a castle back home. Our dining room's 10 times bigger than this room.
Then wouldn't it be logical to not yell?
Whatever.
And everybody's eating, having a good time.
My favorite.
Finally.
Thank you for breakfast. It looks amazing.
It's our pleasure.
Hey, good morning! Guess who's at your door right now?
Yep.
I'll get it.
No, Matthew, no. Matthew, don't. And hi. Yes?
Hi?
I couldn't believe this was happening. How was I going to explain this? This week was already bad enough. And I'm frozen in place.
Who?
Susie,
What's
let me-
going on here?
Who's at the door, Matthew? Oh.
They're your brothers? Since when did you have brothers?
It was no use. There's no time to lie to them. And then James
We
takes
must-
over. They go to the kitchen. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're serving."
Whoa, this looks amazing.
Our pleasure, ladies. We hope you enjoy your meals.
Make sure you dig in.
Skipping.
We gotta prep the house for some sort of housewarming party thing.
Our princess's parents requested a housewarming party to be held here soon.
And by that, they mean tonight.
Oh, well, I guess we can help out or something. Right, Naomi? I thought you wanted to go to the arcade. This housewarming thing is more important.
No need. We can handle it. If you'd like to, miss, you can go out with your friends while we handle things here.
No. It's okay.
Seriously?
Sam, not now.
Well, I wanted to help out, but at the same time, I wanted to go out with my friends. James gave me a look of understanding, letting me know that if I left, everything would be okay. I had to make a decision. I'll stay and help around the house.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Besides, it is my housewarming party. I should help out too.
Want us to help out as well?
I think we all got to take care of. Thanks, though, girls.
All right. We'll head on out then, so we're not in the way.
Sorry, guys. I'll hang out with you guys soon.
It's all good, Anderson. We'll definitely come to the housewarming party tonight.
Okay. Thank you. And they're gone. Erik with the dining room. I stayed in the dining room, knowing that the table had to become a buffet table. As I looked around the room carefully, I noted that the floor needed waxing and the table surfaces needed a major dusting. Erik came up to next to me, lowered a small mop and a bucket he had brought in on the floor, and rolled his sleeves up higher on his arms before looking at me with a raised eyebrow.
Are you sure you want to work with me with cleaning this place up? It'll be a lot of cleaning and tidying. Plus, we have to move the chairs to the corner.
I shook my head, rolling up my sleeves and walking to the table, grabbing hold of a chair. I think I can handle lifting a couple of chairs and moving them. Erik smiled at me with a soft chuckle before following my lead. Eventually, we had moved all the tables to the corner of the room and had begun cleaning the room and the table. Silence consumed the air as we both focused on cleaning. I decided to start mopping the floor, but as I stepped towards the bucket, my foot rolled over a small, fluffy object, causing me to slip. Ah! Before I hit the floor, however, I wound up in the arms of Erik, staring at him in a dance-like dip while gripping onto his shirt. His face was of pure concern as he held on and looked down at me.
Are you all right, princess?
Yep, just nod. All I could do was nod as I stared at Erik. He was genuinely concerned. There was no flirtation or smirk on his face. It was cute to see a new side of him. Erik let out a soft, small sigh in relief.
That's a relief. You didn't twist your ankle, did you?
No, I'm fine. Gently, I felt Erik's arm dip under my knees as he could lift me up bridal style. I gripped tighter onto his shirt before he set me on the table and knelt down to look at my feet. I'm really fine. Erik didn't speak as he gently looked over my ankles, lightly massaging them to test for pain. I didn't feel any pain. I felt pleasure. I bit my lip as Erik gently massaged his fingers over my skin. I'd had a foot massage before, but Erik had amazing skill. Each touch and press sent a wave of pleasure running down my spine. I had to fight to hold back a moan. Does everything have to be sexual here? Erik's face, though, didn't shift to any mischief or seduction. It remained as concerned as ever. He was full of surprises. Eventually, he finished looking over my feet and smiled in relief. He slowly stood up and smiled his usual smile at me with a small giggle.
You were right, princess. You were fine.
Erik gently lifted me off the table and lowered me to the floor before placing a swift kiss onto my forehead and continuing his work. I stood there for a moment before slowly walking to the bucket and cleaning as well. My heart continued to pound as we both finished cleaning that room. The hour of the house party had arrived. In my mind, I kept double and triple checking the essentials for the party. Knowing my dad, he invited his business partners and the executives of the Anderson company to show me off. I stood in front of the mirror in my room, staring at my form as a million thoughts ran through my mind. It was just a housewarming party, but at the same time, it wasn't. It was my chance to show my dad that I was better than his expectations. It was a chance for me to see my parents, for me to see my parents as a woman. It was my test to see if I was really ready to live on my own. Well, not truly alone. I had the incubi to thank, but even so, I didn't have my dad guiding me or my mom helping me through living alone. A knock on my door brought my thoughts. Who is it?
Hey, are you okay in there? Your parents should be here soon, so you should hurry getting ready.
We've been through this again. Ooh, yes, I'm ready. Same old, same old. I'm doing my best.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather passing away. It really hit all of us hard.
Thank you for your condolences.
Do you have college plans?
There's a possibility.
What do you think will happen with the company now that your grandfather has passed?
That depends who runs it.
What do you think of the philanthropic policy the company has?
It reflects my own values.
Do you think the company should expand from just toys?
It's a possibility.
Honey, I'd like to introduce you to someone. This kind gentleman is the son of the vice chairman.
Skipping. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Praise is very much deserved.
Skipping through. I'll stay put. I watched as he disappeared into the crowd towards the back of the house. I was worried, but I gave him his space. He obviously needed it.
Peh. He's not CEO material.
That's because you practically interrogated the young man.
A little questioning shouldn't have bothered him. He's obviously not ready for any title in our company.
I bit my tongue. I didn't want to make a scene with my dad. One wrong word and he'd lecture me in front of everyone. That was not something that I wanted at my housewarming party. I let out a sigh before looking at the clock. It was getting close to midnight, meaning that the party was going to end soon. I lowered my gaze out the window and saw a limo pull up. Huh? Whose limo is that?
Oh, that must be Lewis's car.
I'll go get him. Stay with your father so you can escort your guests out together.
Can't I just go hide? I don't want to be with him. Yes, Mom. Okay. So, my mother left my dad and me to slowly escort the guests out. My dad had held his simple smile as he thanked each person for coming. I did the same. Andrew quickly passed the doors before I could speak. Eventually, only Susan, Naomi, and my parents in the incubi were left. And he's proud of me.
You did good tonight.
Thank you, Dad.
Keep it up, and you'll be a good CEO.
Yeah.
All right. Your mother and I have to leave. I'm sure Naomi and Suzu need to leave as well. Just because it's Saturday doesn't mean you should stay up all night.
That's what Saturdays are for. Oh, right.
Thanks for having us. It was a great party. We'll come visit tomorrow or something. All right?
Right. See ya.
Good night, sweetie. Come visit us soon.
Will do. Whew, that was tiring.
It's not like you had to do any work, though.
Sam, shush. Oh no! Get out of my house. Skipping through. Duck. Skipping through. And they're gone. We already been in this conversation as well. Sleeping.
I promise to be with you forever. You're so important to me.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
Please, let me love you.
I'll be by your side, always.
I can't imagine living without you.
I want to be with you.
I love you.
I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to go back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? It's too early to even be alive. Work on the homework. I had to work on my homework. I had school tomorrow regardless of what was happening in my life. At the moment, I wish school was over. Well, might as well get it done now. I reluctantly took my books out of my bag and sat on the floor. I made my bed into a study picnic area as I began to work through my homework. The benefit of doing your homework in the morning, not having to do it later. The downside, mornings suck for you're trying to use your brain for anything educational. The formula for fixed costs is FC plus VC equals Q equals TC. Marginal cost is total cost minus fixed costs. I felt my brain slowly start to ramp up the flow of logical thought, speeding up the time as I was working on my economic equation I had. It wasn't a matter of being smart, but about anything when it came to doing homework or doing well in class, but I was quick to learn and easily retain information. Lucky? If only I could learn about the boys this fast. I stopped. Did I really just compare learning about demons to learning about economics? It's 7 a.m. It's too early to be alive, let alone make sense. I shook my head and continued to work. I returned to my bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag under my covers to try and sleep again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes. Back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I took out my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? And change normal clothes, Ming-ha, nobody was here. Huh? Backyard, they're training. Don't disturb them. Go make them food. Pizza it is. Pizza's always good no matter what time of day it is. Do we have any? Luckily, we had pizza in the freezer to heat up. Pizza mores, baked with love pizza, had all the makings of a pizza types, including pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and extra cheese. Just top it, bake it, and serve. I have to get more later. I placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating to different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go in one direction. Go to one of them in particular. The other of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand in my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys were focused on training. Find one of the incubi. I quickly rushed back and grabbed a second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. I returned to the backyard, hoping to find an incubus still there. Luckily, my gut feeling was right. Erik was beside the gazebo, looking to a small flower that was growing onto the railing of it. As I approached, Erik turned his head and smiled his usual smile.
Hello, princess.
Hey, Erik. I got some lunch for you.
Really? You did not have to do that, princess.
No, it's fine. Here. Erik smiled and took his food, eating a little bit before looking to the flower again. Out of curiosity, I looked as well. It was a simple white daisy in full bloom. Erik shook his head and chuckled softly as I joined him in the flower gazing.
Sorry, I was simply reminded of home.
Erik and James have a thing for flowers. Huh? Oh no, you're fine. So, what about home were you reminded of? Erik looked to the sky with a soft sigh and smiled before returning his gaze to the flower again.
The castle, mainly. Despite us not being there anymore, it was still our home. We grew up there our entire lives as brothers. There wasn't a day that went by when we weren't all doing something exciting. It was an empty excitement, of course, but it was still something that bonded us all together.
Aww. Erik slightly trailed off, looking lost in nostalgia of his thoughts. I didn't know if I wanted to bother him while he remembered something so obviously important to him. Do it. Please tell me more? Erik turned again to me with a slight, surprised look.
You wish to know more?
Why not? I'm really curious about the place you lived in. Erik nodded before looking to the flower again. After a second, he gained a look of realization before looking to me again.
Would you like me to show you something instead?
I tilted my head in confusion, but nodded nonetheless. What I was expecting could not have prepared me for what I had saw. Erik gently brushed his fingers against the petals of the daisy, making it gently quake in his touch. As the daisy abnormally shivered, its petals gently shifted from white to purple. Purple! The yellow center gently faded into a pink hue as the stem began to burn black. I could only stare as Erik plucked the flower from its place and presented it to me.
Watch closely.
I kept my eyes to the flower as Erik began to mutter something. It sounded close to Latin, but I wasn't sure. Regardless, the flower began to glow in Erik's hand. Small, crystal-like spores floated into the pink center and began to form a circle in the air. As the circle closed, the center filled with smoke, forming a screen of some sort. It was misty, so I couldn't see anything. Ow, 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 ow. Foot fell asleep. What is this?
Just watch.
I raised an eyebrow, but I followed his instruction. Eventually, the mist faded away, revealing a large throne room. It was all stone and tiled, with the throne itself covered in red fabric and gold metal. Despite it being a mere image of a magic mirror, I felt small looking at the sight of the throne room. Wow, that looks amazing.
That's our castle. It's a wonderful place. Servants and parties galore.
Does your father sit on the throne when he's at the parties?
Very much so. He despises dancing and socializing, so he makes the throne his home.
Do you think he's still there now? I must have struck a small chord with Erik because he hesitated before responding. Erik smiled only slightly.
We don't know. When we left, we didn't look back. However, we are sure he's still there, since no one followed us out of the abyssal plains.
I bit my lip. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. I felt really bad. However, I didn't feel it for long. The magic suddenly stopped and faded away while Erik dropped the daisy. As the daisy turned back in its white and yellow color, Erik dropped to a knee, groaning in pain. Erik, are you alright?
Yes, Princess. I'm fine. I just used too much energy, that's all.
I dropped to a knee to try and examine Erik closer. His face was pale, while his purplish eyes shifted back and forth between purple and gold. His breath was heavy, which concerned me. He used too much energy? That meant he needed more.
Please don't worry, Princess. I'm fine. Don't worry your beautiful head about it.
I felt responsible. I had to help. I quickly grabbed Erik's face and tilted his head to an angle with mine. Shifting himself closer, I brought my lips to his and kissed him deeply. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how he got energy before. I shut my mouth, waiting for the draining feeling to reappear in my body. However, Erik grabbed my shoulders and forced me back. I opened my eyes and stared into his frightened golden eyes in surprise. At the same time, I noticed a pink hue run across Erik's face.
Princess? What are you doing?
I don't know what, but I felt both irritated and accomplished at the question and the look he was giving me. Where was this flirting? Where was this cocky smirk? From what I remembered, he took advantage of me when we met, yet now he was somehow inferior to me. Jeez. I grabbed his hand and removed them from my shoulders, tying his fingers with his. My fingers with his. I'm trying to help and give you some energy. You used your energy to show me that sight, so I want to pay you back for that. Unless you don't want me to help.
Well, I've already taken your energy once before.
That was before. I want to give you energy now. Just let me. All of a sudden, I felt the familiar feeling of warmth run through my body. Once again, I felt my body slightly heat up as Erik quickly released my hand and wrapped them around my waist, dropping to both knees in front of me. He stared at me in a desired gaze as he pulled my body to his. Erik leaned his forehead to mine, letting the tips of our noses gently caress each other as he spoke.
You spoil me.
Whoa. Before I knew it, I was on top of Erik as he laid on the grass below. I stared wide-eyed as he pulled me into a hot, passionate kiss, with a gentle hand on the back of my head. Erik's other hand rested on the small of my back while I rested his hand on his chest. I moved myself to straddle his hips, to be comfortable in the kiss. The energy from my body was slowly draining, making me feel light and warm. It was almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in the situation. Still, I held no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss. While Erik held me, he gently rolled us over, so he was on top of me, kissing me hotly and holding me tightly. I was tempted to wrap my legs around him, but I remained focused on the kiss. It was better than I was at the bottom anyway, with my energy slowly fading from my body. However, the feeling of the drainage suddenly stopped as Aaron pulled away and looked down at me. I stared up at him as he both panted for air. I had never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment that I had forgotten how to breathe. Erik, however, didn't move from me. Moved a strand of hair from my face, eyes still full of desire.
I'm completely full, and yet I still desire you.
I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly wanted to give any more. I opened the opportunity and was enjoying this as much as he was. I wanted more, and I was going to let him keep going. I wanted to keep going. I reached up and pulled him down and kissed him, giving him silent approval to keep going. I could feel him pull off the tail of my bow, releasing it and following his hand off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to the ground beside me before gently unbuttoning the top buttons of my blouse, stopping at the buttons just above my stomach. The desire in my body drove me insane, forcing him to escape my lips as he ran kisses from my lips to my exposed neck. As Vienna ravaged my neck and shoulders in hot kisses, I leaned my head back against the grass and let a crushable sigh escape my lips. Erik was ruthless in his passionate kisses on my skin. Erik then stopped touching and kissing me, making me more moans and gasps rush out of my mouth into the open air. He was full, but he was as hot as I was. I couldn't even comprehend how much time was spent making out. I was so lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. Call it simple, but I didn't care. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment, even as he lowered his kisses down my chest just above my bra. My heart was beating wildly at my chest because something about Erik intrigued me immensely, but something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love, but it was too passionate to be lust. What was it? However, I felt myself feel dizzy, seeing the sky start to spin almost wildly. I gripped to Erik's shoulders, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. I felt good. I didn't care that I had blacked out. I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness. I never knew indulging in that kind of passion would be that good. I now just waited to awaken, hopefully in a good way. And I guess we'll stop here for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!